Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing? There's a lot of young people here, but we sound so quiet. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing? I'm good. My name is Azor Hijarunguru. And I am a data analyst. So, first and foremost, I want to thank you for coming here, for availing your time to come and listen to not only to the speakers, but also to come and share knowledge and listen to one another. Today, I'll be sharing my journey from curiosity to becoming, I would like to believe, a seasoned data analyst. And I hope my story will not only inspire anyone, but it will also guide one or two of you. So, my journey was nothing straightforward. I wanted to be a biomedical engineer when I finished high school. Yes, that is true. So I went to NAST and I applied. They didn't have it, and I was quite confused. I was like, okay, now what do I do? You know, I see a lot of high school students here. I was grade 12 once upon a time, grade 11. I thought I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I started watching videos, started going to conferences like this, you know, where you can learn from other people in fields that you want to be in. And I stumbled into computer science. So I studied computer science and I was like, okay, maybe this is for me, maybe this is for me. So first year came around smooth. Second year came around and it was tough. I started getting hit by code and all of that, and it became overwhelming. It became overwhelming to the point where I started doubting myself. I started wondering, am I good enough for this? Is this even for me? Maybe I should just, it's not too late, my registration was just last week, I can just switch courses or something like that. It was tough. I didn't know what to do. Sometimes I still don't know if I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, I'm enjoying. So, whether you're a student, a career changer, or just curious, I know that you will relate to my story. So as I progressed in my studies, I realized that technology's impact is not only limited to the healthcare, because remember I wanted to be a biomedical engineer, and I saw some commonalities between what I wanted to study at first and what I was currently studying. There was data. Data is very important, even for Python. Data is very important. So the curiosity led me into computer science, where I started to see the power of data to solve complex problems. Like many people starting out, like I said, I faced a lot of doubts. Till this day, I face a lot of doubts, even at my workplace. I'm like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Will I be good enough? So imposter syndrome hit me, and sometimes it felt like everyone was ahead of me. Because I surrounded myself with people that were just, man, this guy is doing this guy is doing that. I was just trying to find my truth. I was trying to find my source. And then I stumbled across a company called Genius Robotics. How many of you have heard of Genius Robotics? So I get very passionate when I start talking about Genius Robotics. So to give context, in 2019, I was a grade 11 student at Delta Analyst. And I heard an announcement on the radio by our then principal, Ms. Anyelika Yakobi. And she said, announcements? Any students interested in joining the robotics team, please meet at Ms. Huhu's classroom. What? Robotics? What is robotics? I was confused. I was like, robotics? Are we gonna make traffic lights red, yellow, green? So I was like, you know what, let me just give it a try. So I went, and at that time we got tested. We were told that we are going to write essays and stuff to be picked for the national robotics team. I was like, national robotics team? Okay. So, long story short, I made the team. So I was one of the first students to represent Namibia at the first Global Robotics Challenge. after representing Namibia at this challenge, my friend and I, the current president of Genius Robotics, Mr. Dennis Deaprio, we were sitting on the plane coming back from, it's an international competition, by the way, it's like the World Cup for robotics. In 2019, it took place in Dubai, the UAE. So on our flight back, there was something that we realized during, having our, so to say, promotional run of trying to find sponsorships. We found that there was one thing that was missing. There was, so to say, a gap within our country of what not only is robotics, but there's much more to computer science than just fixing a laptop. How many of you guys who study computer science or, oh, you're in IT, can you quickly check if my printer is working? So Dennis and I had a very long conversation and we spoke about it, and he was like, we need some change. So after being a student of Genius Robotics, I then became a mentor. And becoming a mentor, I started teaching others about robotics. There's much more to robotics than just what meets the eye. So we taught them mechanics, we taught them basic programming, Java, Scratch, because we were working with high school students. So upon working with these high school students, we picked 5 students the very first time, and then we went to the next international competition. And this just kept on repeating and repeating and repeating, and there was something that stuck with me then. There's a lot of math in these things that I'm doing, man. How much I must tighten the screw on the Excalibur, how much code I should write, how many hours I should sleep. Everything is math. How long I should speak. And being a part of Genius Robotics gave me the privilege of meeting people from all walks of technology. Engineers, programmers, innovators, you name it all. Matter of fact, I have met a scientist from the Netherlands. He was part of the team that took the very first picture of the black hole. Yes, and I will never forget that experience. So, under Genius Robotics guidance, I became a volunteer for the first global international robotics competition. After previously being a team member of the national team and a mentor, I started also socializing, or should I say mingling, with people from other countries as well. And I also saw that there was a gap and everyone kept speaking the same knowledge. What is going to happen when AI takes over? Am I going to lose my job? Do I still have to study? I remember my small brother was asking me, what's the point of studying if I can just go online, ChatGPT, and it does everything for me? And it dawned upon me that, what does AI run on? Data. And what does the data run on? Math. So when this hit me, I started going down a rabbit hole. I started going down a rabbit hole of watching math videos. So to say, more so arithmetic videos. And I stumbled across great mathematicians, from the likes of Ramanujan, to the likes of Gauss, to the likes of Euler. And I was just fascinated. I was fascinated by the math. I don't know, I just liked the way the numbers looked on a piece of paper. There's a pi sign here, there's a what, and it's a beautiful thing to look at and to understand. And I'm sure most of you feel that same way about data or about Python. Looking at a code and wow, that one line made it say hello world. And then you can translate it into different programming languages. Isn't it just beautiful? And after going down this rabbit hole, my love for technology, for data, and for math grew stronger. And eventually I realized that the data science field was calling me by all my names. And my certificate was calling me. So I started taking online classes, sometimes free, sometimes paid, and worked on small projects to build my skills. And I made some key decisions. I was like, let me go, maybe, my dad always tells me experience is the best teacher. So I was like, let me get some experience. So I went out into the market and I started looking. And fortunately, I got placed and I got a job. So in this job, they were like, you're going to be a data analyst, you're going to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, these are big words that you're using with me. So I started learning. We were using Excel, SQL, and Power BI to get insights from the data that we get from our clients. And I started building a portfolio of small projects that helped me stand out. And one thing that I'm really grateful for is that the challenges in the real world are very real. You know, you have to keep up with new tools and technologies. You have to balance multiple projects and deadlines, but the rewards are even greater. And seeing the impact of my work really drives me to continue wanting to learn, to continue to want to grow. And I want to leave you guys with something very short and sweet. It's okay not to know everything at the start. Nobody does. Mistakes are part of the learning process. Don't be afraid to fail. Network and always ask for help. Those are very invaluable. And I would love to leave you with a quote. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. Thank you.